Welcome back here, ladies and gentlemen. It's the Cowboys Fan Show. Tyler Ortega, Scott Jeter, and we're now joined by our fan of the week, good friend of the show, Michael Sanchez. Thanks for coming back, Mike.
Hey, thanks for having me. Always a pleasure. You know I love it.
Of course. Now, we're loving that hat that you got on there, too.
Hey, tell you what, this hat got me a ride on the Harley with Rowdy a couple years back.
There we go.
Yes, sir.
Man, I think that might be a record here at the Cowboys Fan Show. Mike owns the record for most Harley rides with Rowdy.
Yeah, that's true. It's never happened to me.
It was wonderful.
Rowdy would have to jump on the back of mine.
So as we said there before going to break, let's dive in, guys, a little bit more in depth into that win against Seattle. Starting off with number 4. You're wearing his jersey there, Mike. Dak Prescott, he got his first big win. This one was a statement game for Dak going forward. I think this really puts to bed all of that nonsense that we were talking about early in the season. Should Dallas move on from Dak Prescott if they don't get it done? So Dak's first big career signature win, in the playoffs over a very high quality Seattle team. What were your takeaways from that one there with Dak, Mike?
My takeaways, watching the intro, I agree with you 100%. He eliminated a lot of the problems that we all had been talking together about, where he was taking the ball, holding it too long, taking that sack. Mm-hmm. He didn't take too many of those. They weren't a long 8-yard run back scattered sack. It was a get 3 yards and fall down. Yeah. He didn't throw the ball into dangerous windows. He was very focused. And then when it was crunch time, he put the team on his back, went and did that super flip. And I agree, it was better that he didn't get the touchdown.
Yeah. I mean,
burn a little more time.
It shows how invested he is, in this team when he's willing to go airborne like that, sacrifice his body, put it on the line for the good of the team. Scott?
It's just the same thing. Mechanics. Look at the mechanics. I mean, the steps into this throw right there. He's stepping up into the pocket. Earlier in the season, he was stepping back, stepping backwards. He's trying to spin out. This entire time, watch. You'll see it right here, even on the run right here. Sets up, throws, easy. He's not easy misses earlier in the season. Mm-hmm. I mean, there was that touchdown to Noah Brown that he missed it. He missed Jarwin wide open a couple of times. That's because the mechanics were bad.
Right.
Mechanics are getting better. He's a coachable player. That is what you're seeing right here.
Yes.
He can continue to develop.
One of the other two big things is, if he has a criticism week 13, we don't talk about it week 14.
Right.
And that's been a consistent with him this year. Whatever that key focal point is, this boy goes home and he works. And like Zeke said, he's a grown man.
And looking at my notes here, looking at Dak's numbers from this game against Seattle, 22 completions, 33 attempts, 226 yards, had a touchdown, 1 interception. But the number that stands out to me is 6 carries, guys. He ran the ball 6 times for 29 yards. Also had a touchdown on the ground. So it really seems as though the coaching staff is using him effectively. Instead of trying to make Dak Prescott be a Tom Brady, they're really tailoring the offense to, irony here, but the Russell Wilson.
Well, and that's the whole thing, is they're trying to get him to be a Tom Brady as well as a Russell Wilson. And I think that there's no 2 consecutive plays that illustrates this better than the touchdown of Michael Gallup. Because if anybody remembers, the play before that, it was a missed throw to Michael Gallup. Yeah. He threw that off his back foot.
Right.
So he went to the sideline. They said, hold on, Dak, let's try that again. Okay, this route is going to work. This play is going to work. Just don't step off your back foot. And he came right back in. The next play, learned from it, touchdown, 6 points.
It was just a phenomenal game for number 4. I'm thrilled to see him get that big win. It's a big confidence booster for the kid going forward. So from the quarterback now to the running back, Zeke Elliott, he was eating all night on Saturday.
What can you say?
Man, he must have not eaten all day, because he went into that game hungry.
He was hungry.
And he was eating all night, guys. 137 yards on the ground. We've got some highlights of Zeke. I know we saw quite a bit of it in segment 1, but let's have a look at some more of his highlights here from that game on Saturday night, guys. And real quick, same question. What were your takeaways there from Zeke Elliott, Mike?
Zeke Elliott ran like a man possessed. He ran like a man that played for Ohio State in a championship under the lights. He even said, it's playoff time, it's time to eat with 2 hands. and he went out on the field and backed that statement up. He ate with 2 hands.
Oh, and we saw him, doing it.
Yeah, he did it.
He was doing the two-handed scoop there, yeah. So Scott?
Man, and, a big shout out to number 52 right there. The O-line played a fantastic game right there. And they did it for Zeke. He was fired up before the game. He got everybody going. He's a team leader.
Yeah.
He's a young man, but he's already a team leader. He makes everybody around him better. Connor Williams obviously improved. Everybody, he's pulling on this play right here. He's athletic. He's big. Look at that block he lays down on Wagner right there. Gets him around the edge. And Zeke is just fast. He hits that edge. Everybody knows what they have in number 21. They want to get him the ball. They want to play well for him. And this is what he does.
Yeah, it was really incredible, and for what it's worth, guys, we do have to remember that Zeke didn't play the last week of the regular season.
Right? No, he
so
came
he's
in,
coming
in
off
fresh,
very fresh, and you could see the result of it. 30 touches on Saturday night, and he went to work. It was just an all-around impressive performance from the kid. Dare we say MVP-like performance from him?
Absolutely. I mean, it's the same thing. 32 yards in the air. How many catches? He had like 6 catches or something.
He had 6 receptions. I've got the numbers here in my notes somewhere, but. So Ezekiel Elliott, it's pretty concrete that Zeke and probably Todd Gurley, top 2 running backs in the league.
Yes.
We've got a treat coming up on Saturday, but before we get too far ahead of ourselves, let's transition from the offensive side of the ball, guys, to the defensive side of the ball. On Saturday night, the Hot Boys, they came to play on Saturday. They had 5.5 tackles for loss between them. They had the sack. Malik Collins was there. DeMarcus Lawrence was all over the place. Randy Gregory making big plays.
Beautiful open field tackle.
What are you going to say about that?
Yeah.
And Tyrone Crawford.
Yeah.
He came back in and he played lights out.
After the next stinger.
Yeah,
after a next stinger. He went and laid it on the line, what leaders do.
Yeah.
And, like you said, the defense came out hungry. They must have been hanging out not eating with Zeke the day before, because they came out and ate with both hands.
Yeah,
agreed.
Coop ate with both hands.
Well, and for what it's worth, Seattle was the NFL leading rushing team coming into this game. Dallas held them to 72 yards on the ground, I believe
and they
it was.
were averaging 160 per.
Yeah.
So you cut their average in half.
Yeah.
That's a beautiful defense right there.
Absolutely
That's an argument for number 1 defense in the league.
Yeah, well,
I agree.
And what was that? What was the stat that you had thrown out? Dallas is the top 5.
Oh yeah, against top 5 offenses in this league, they're the number 1 ranked defense facing those teams.
That's incredible. That is just incredible. And to get a little bit off topic here, guys. Speaking of teams from the past. The downfall was always the defense. It was always the defense. When number 9 was quarterback, he was trying to do it all by himself. He was trying to outgun the other teams. But now that there's a defense in Big D, Cowboys are scary.
They are.
Absolutely. And, honestly, I got to give it up to number 98, Tyrone Crawford, because I was one of the biggest haters over the last several years. And in fact of the matter is, this coaching staff, Rob Marinelli, these guys knew something that I didn't. And he'd go in there every year, and he was really a man without a position. They knew that he was versatile. So they're like, hey, he's good at everything. He's not great at anything, and so they could exploit that matchup, and he's really coming to his own. He can play on the outside. Set that edge. You're not getting around that, man. He plays fantastic on the inside. I'd say he's a Pro Bowl caliber player at any position on that line.
Right.
He really stepped up. He's a leader on this team. And then you got guys like Malik Collins is a special talent, in my opinion. He really is stepped up in this game, and he does it in big games. But then you got guys like Daniel Ross and Antoine Woods.
Woods
came out of nowhere and killed it. And you know why? It's because he loves this squad. I mean, look at his Instagram. He's done but throwing up signs about the Hot Boys and how much he loves playing in Dallas, and that is a result of good coaching and fantastic job by these team leaders getting the best out of these guys. And Marinelli's famous for that. Yeah. But I mean, it's really starting to show, especially in the postseason. Yeah. Well, Dallas just on a tear, and as much as we'd love to sit around here and talk about beating Seattle, the fact of the matter is, guys, Dallas is on to the second round of the playoffs. So with that being said, we're going to take a quick break, and we're going to move on to our game preview against the Rams when we return. So don't go anywhere. You're watching the Cowboys Fan Show.